Hi, I'm Andy and welcome back to Plants and Produce. This is our third video that we're doing now, and we've gone all fancy Nancy. I have a wireless microphone and my daughter has bought herself a gimbal, which don't confuse that with a Gimli, which is a short dwarf in Lord of the Rings, but she's gone all fancy and she's going to stabilize the video and make a fantastic job of this. So what I was going to talk about today is herbs. Or herbs, or it depends on where you come from. It has a H in front of it, but most people will say herbs. So what I know about herbs. So what I did know about herbs is back in 1968 there was a program, a kids program that we used to watch for you older English people, particularly my elder brother who is much older than me. He will remember the herbs, which you had Parsley the lion, you had the chives, which are the sons of the onions, you had Lady Rosemary, and you had Sir Basil. Some of the other stuff that was in there was Aunt Mint, who used to sit on the front just knitting all the time. You had Deal the dog, or a dog called Deal, which if I don't grow any of that right now, but it's another type of herb. You had Constable Knapweed and you had the dragon tarragon. So for all you people out there that remember Paddington, then that's the type of stuff. Michael Bond is the same writer for this. So it's not like the modern stuff. If you want to look on YouTube and find it, it's called The Herbs because it's a very friendly lion called Parsley. So I was going to talk about today about this type of stuff and how I grow it and what I do. So I always start my herbs in small pots and then I'll move them onto bigger pots as they go. So this is the basil, which is started off like this. At this point is where I will trim it and then I will dry it. So I go down to where a stem is like this, and then I just trim it off where I need to. Now, interesting story about basil. I have a friend of mine that actually works in a similar job or the same job as I do for the company I work for. So I've known Basil now for 15-20 years. When I left this company to go to New Zealand for 4 or 5 years in Australia, I was at a conference one day, and who should roll up but same conference but Basil, and the herb name is Sir Basil or Basil, whatever way you want to pronounce it. It was a shock to me that Basil was there, and it was also a shock to him that we both ended up leaving this current company and actually working for the same parent company that we did. So after 5 years of being in New Zealand, Australia, I moved back to this company, and then 6 months later Basil moved back as well. So at one point I strongly suspected that he was stalking me, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Now this basil is one that needs cutting right now. So I deliberately left the basil to go a bit wild to see what happens when you don't trim it. So this one I will give a serious haircut to. And this one here, I have been taking basil off since before Christmas, and it's still been going strong, providing you make sure you keep cutting it back. There you go, haircut. So the next one is parsley. I mean, this is one of these really useful type of herbs that you can use in just about everything. This is my newest one I've just started to grow, and it's time for this one to get a haircut. And all I do with parsley or coriander, which is a similar herb but a lot stronger, is I just give it a haircut and let it get going. So again, same premise. This is one I've let go and just to see how far it will go. So this one needs a serious haircut to get going again. But this one here has been giving me parsley all winter. So I would just have it start again. Now what I will say about fresh herbs, depends on whether you get them from your local store, you get them from Walmart, is they're not the same as if you grow them yourself. I thought, because I've always used fresh herbs in my cooking, I thought that these would be very similar, but I found out I was completely wrong. The fresh herbs that I've grown are so strong that you really need an absolute minimum of them to actually make them taste. If you put too much, example, coriander into food, all you would taste is coriander. You will not taste the food. So what I've tendency to do is to dry my herbs before I use them. Which again, here's some more parsley, which again is not rocket science. All I do is I make bunches, simple bunches like this, and then a rubber band, and then all I would do is I would hang them in our kitchen, and I would just hang them. The best place I've found to hang them is somewhere above the microwave, because the fan from the microwave really does help dry the herbs. And then I will put them into small pots, and that's how I would use them. So this one here is coriander, and this is a plant that I've been trying to kill since December time, and it still keeps coming back. So as you can see by this, I've cut this back so many times to just the snub, but it continues to grow and grow. So we are going to continue to cut it and see how long it lasts before it has to die. But it is giving me so much coriander, which I use a lot of coriander in cooking, which is helpful, but it just will not die. Herbs are one of the most adaptable things that you could ever have. So while I'm cutting this one and my other one back, talk to you a little bit about work and work attitude. So a lot of people who I work with know me very well, and they know that I'm always happy. I'm always going to work and I'm always happy. So apparently Gabriella's gimbal died, so it's one of those, she's now freehanding, so if it gets a bit wobbly from this point on, it's down to her. So as I was saying, when I go to work, I'm always happy. I'm always positive, and there's no reason not to be. My take on it is that if you expect your people to come to work and be happy and enjoy their job, but you come to work with a miserable attitude, why would you expect your people to be any different than what you are? It's all about leadership and setting a positive example. another one of my corianders that have been going all winter long. So as I said, herbs are one of the easiest things to grow. Just put them in a pot and get them going. If you go to a local store, or even if you go to Walmart, these will be between $2 and $4 for a small little sachet, which honestly is not as great as you think it is. So from these 5 pots here, I have made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and I still have some more to do yet, so I'm going to end up with about 20 bunches of herbs. So I've saved myself a huge amount of money just for using my own herbs. The only herb that I won't cut or dry is the chives, and I cut those and use those as I need them, because that's what I do with these ones. So that about wraps it up for this video, except to say for the Scottish guy out there that said he doesn't understand my accent and needs some subtitles. I really think that's the pot calling the kettle black. So in the next video, what we're going to talk about is tomatoes, depends on where you're from, and how I grow them, how I start them off, and how I train them. So see you next time. Oh, as an add-on part, Gabriella will take some video of the plants that I've already planted outside, because again, I did them a little bit too early, but I knew the risk. Tomorrow's supposed to be around the mid-70 range here, but then it's supposed to get down into the 27, 28 at night with even a dusting or up to 1 inch of snow. So we'll do a before and after video of what survived and what didn't, as most of it has been hardened up, as it's been down in the 30s at night and it's been handling it pretty well. The other thing I'm supposed to say is, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. Otherwise, I'm never going to make my fortune from this. Bye.